I was in the fifth grade when I learned that being smart can make you a target. I was already being bullied and isolated, but I would try to succeed anyway. One day, I turned in my assignment, went to the bathroom, and when I came back, everything had changed. So here's the story. I'm in the fifth grade, and our teacher had a system of us turning in our work where he had a tray on the counter, and when we were done with our assignments, we had to turn our work into the tray. So one day, working on an assignment, I finished early, like I usually did, and went to turn in my paper in the tray on the counter. Then I went and asked permission to go to the restroom. So I go to the restroom, come back into the classroom, and as I'm walking through the door, one of my classmates, we'll call her Shayla. Shayla walks by me and says, "You bitch." I immediately feel a knot in my stomach because I know something more is coming, because something more was always coming. I go and I sit down at my desk. And after a while, the teacher is telling everyone to finish up their assignments and to put their assignments in the tray when they're done. So he goes over to collect the assignments on the counter, and he's looking through all the different papers and making sure everyone's turned theirs in. Then he calls me up to his desk and he asked me where my assignment was. So I told him I turned it in to the basket. And he said, "Well, I don't see it here." So we began looking through the papers again, looking and looking. And then I realized that there's a paper with my answers on it, but it doesn't have my name on the top. It has someone else's name. We'll call her Kayla. Kayla obviously had erased my name and put her name on top of my paper. So I told the teacher what obviously looks like happened, and he believed me because it was so obvious that that's what happened. And he knew that I was a good student and always turned in my work. So he had me go sit down. He called her up to his desk. He spoke to her. She got punished some way. I don't remember what happened. But what I do remember is that all the other girls in the class started calling me a liar because she told them that I was the one who lied about the assignment. So as you can imagine, I was already feeling ostracized to begin with because of different things that had gone on during the fifth grade. And now I feel even more ostracized because I'm now a target being called a liar. So what did this teach me? Unfortunately, I internalized this as a 10-year-old kid that I somehow needed to hide my accomplishments. That being smart was actually making me a target. That it wasn't safe to shine. It wasn't safe to try to be the best that I could be because it made other people jealous. It made other people lie about me. And unfortunately, I think that these kind of things that happen in our lives as we get older set the tone for the way that we operate in different areas of our lives. I think that for a lot of high achieving women, this becomes a problem because underneath the achievement, there's that fear that your excellence or any ways that you're exceptional are going to make you a target. So you begin to hide in order to feel emotionally safe. But the thing is, that doesn't really equal safety when you're hiding. All it does is it damages your soul. It causes you to hide who you really are. And in that way, you begin to invalidate yourself. You see, when I was in the fifth grade as a kid coming up there, the only thing that I could think to do for myself was to try to protect myself from the bullies. But unfortunately, as I got older, that way of thinking trying to keep those walls up to protect myself, leaked out into other areas. So, what was it that caused me to be able to finally turn that around? It was actually going through hardship where things began to change. Going through losing loved ones, breakups, different disappointments in life. I had to learn to trust myself. That's where it started to change. When I was able to finally realize that I needed to trust myself first, that's when I started being able to trust other people more. Because you see, you can be emotionally safe through trusting yourself. Because when you trust yourself, you're able to use your discernment. As your discernment grows, so does your trust in yourself and in others, because you're able to see who is worthy of your trust. So it wasn't about keeping those walls up to stay safe. It was about trusting myself and my discernment that made it safe for me to finally shine in the ways that I knew that I now could and still stay safe. I think that for a lot of women who have had some success in their lives, the thin line lies in their ability to trust that they're going to be safe in their excellence, that their success is going to be well received. We can often try to kid ourselves in thinking that if we protect ourselves, trying to protect ourselves emotionally by being guarded, that's going to benefit us. But you got to think about, what is it that you're losing when you do that? Are you losing your voice? Are you losing your authentic self? Are you losing opportunities where you would be fearful to shine your brightest? What is it costing you? Allowing the past bullies to have so much say in how you're operating right now in your life. Your metaphorical fifth grader who stole your work. What kind of power are you giving that? How about you take your power back by learning to exercise your discernment and finding a way to trust in yourself? There's definitely something to be said for being able to bet on yourself. You can learn that emotional safety is something that you can regulate for yourself. It doesn't have to be something that others have to give you. You can give that to yourself first. And then you can slowly learn to extend that to others. Protecting your energy, shining out publicly while privately protecting your peace of mind, your energy, where you want to focus, your growth, your spiritual, emotional, and mental development. Don't let the bullies of the past determine how you're going to behave now and in the future. Learn to trust yourself. And eventually, you'll begin to see that it's not as unsafe to shine your light. If you're a woman who has had levels of success in your life, you're a high achiever, but you realize that there are areas in your life where you've been hiding because you just didn't feel safe in those aspects. You need some guidance, maybe a process, and how to start to uncover those layers, bringing those walls down, learning to trust yourself, learning to see what it is that you want to create in this bigger, brighter version of yourself. I have a free guide for you. It's called the Purpose Emergence Guide. It just gives you the steps to reconnect with that excellent version, more excellent version of yourself. Download it below. Peace and blessings. And I'll talk to you soon.